everybody, and welcome to this ad hoc stream. And the reason why I say don't mention curry is I just had a chicken laksa rice noodle thing from Thai or Malay or somewhere, I'm not sure. I'm perspiring quite a bit, actually. It said it was only one temperature. Apparently it's very much more than one. Anyway, okay. I hope you guys are excited about Circle of World Builders Masterclasses, as I think we all are. It was insane to have that little test that we ran a little bit earlier on. If you missed it, don't worry. It was a technical test more than anything else. So there you are. Thank you, Tom Hartnett. I appreciate that. Really do. Thank you. One must experiment, and when one cannot access a hairdresser, one should just do crazy things. And as I said to my mother, who was very polite, hair grows back, and that's the fun thing. Okay, that's not why we're here tonight. This is a completely informal session, hence, shirt and all that kind of stuff. And what we are going to be doing tonight is we are going to be designing the prophecy that I will be using in tomorrow night's one-on-one game that I run called From the Shadow Born. Now, I thought, let me stream this because a lot of people ask me, how do we do dream sequences? How do we do augurs of the future? How do we do that kind of stuff? Because it does crop up from time to time, and we need to sort of sometimes have an idea of being able to create this thing. So there are a couple of tricks that I've learned over the many, many, many years, and I thought, well, let me share those with you, and then also show you exactly how to do all of this. So yes, let's start to unpack that. And I'm glad that there are some names, Grizzles. I think that's cool. I'm not sure if we'll include some names, because the very first trick about prophecy is that you want to remain vague, but at the same time not vague. It's a bit of a tightrope. So you'll see what we're going to talk about in a little bit. So firstly, let me just remind everybody what we are talking about. So this is the plot outline for the game. So by the way, if you are watching From the Shadow Born, I should probably have done that first, and you don't want spoilers, go away. This is not a stream for you. But if you do want spoilers, well, it's not really a spoiler actually, because I'm not going to be going through the rest of this rubbish. I'm only going through very specifically this one column. So I suppose I could get rid of the rest of it by just sort of zooming in very specifically. And that actually might help us focus anyway. Okay, good. Right, where are we? Here, using. Okay, great. So using, right? So this is the prophecy, and there's Dreaded GM in the chat. Firstly, why aren't you sleeping? I know Australia, it's very late in the evening for you. I caught Dreaded GM stream this morning. Well, my morning, Australia evening, US, I think sort of 3 a.m. type of thing, sadly, which I think is a great tragedy because I really enjoyed it. I think the role playing there is absolutely top notch. And Dreaded GM did something which I'm going to tell you right now, just between you, me, and everybody else watching the stream. I'm going to steal some of your ideas because I really like what you were doing there in terms of the end of your session, as well as actually the combat thing too. So I'm just going to steal it. I'm just outright say it because I really like that. I'm going to try it out and see if it works. I think it's going to work really well. Anyway, if you haven't, Dreaded GM is in chat. Get the details, but I think it is just twitch.tv/DreadedGM. They stream a whole bunch of stuff often, so go check it out. There you are. David Bridgman says steal at wholesale. Right, well, there we go. Anyway, okay, so we're talking about prophecies and how to design prophecy, and this is the prophecy for the game. So first things first, you need to understand what the prophecy is going to be doing in your game. And under normal circumstances, when you've got multiple characters, when you've got multiple players in your game, I think the biggest challenge there is that people might leave. People might go away. Players or player characters. And you're dealing with a lot of people as well. That's tricky. So when it's one-on-one, it's a very different story. And there is a huge pressure on my player, Brian, when I'm throwing out plot hooks to him, for him to, I don't want to say accept them, but certainly to come through and to participate in them, because I'm throwing them at him. So unlike in a party where there are multiple people who can argue and say, no, we don't want to go left, we want to go right, and all that sort of thing, we rarely don't. So I see we've just been raided by Kaora. Thanks so much for that raid. Are you done already? Yeah, it must be, because you're raiding. So there you are. Thanks very much for that raid, Kaora. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful stream, and welcome from his raid. So yes, so we're talking prophecies. Now, rule number 1, vague, 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 vague. It has to be absolutely vague. Rule number 2, it has to be absolutely specific. There we go. And it's as simple as that, really it is. So we keep it vague in terms of names, in terms of locations, in terms of events that could be construed as leading, because we don't want the prophecy to feel as if it's a railroad. We also don't want our player to be going, oh, I have to finish the prophecy. I have to be able to finish the prophecy, and I need to do this and I need to do that. I'm going to change my gaming style. The prophecy, and this is one of the integral things to all prophecies, is that in theory, once the prophecy has been kicked off, it will happen regardless of what the character does. That's the bottom line. So we need to make sure that it's flexible enough that whatever the player chooses to do, it will somehow relate to the prophecy. So we keep it vague, but we need to understand that the function of this prophecy is to act as a MacGuffin. It is not important. It is not vital. It is simply something there that when it happens, hopefully we'll get Brian going, how did he know? How did he know? That's what we're hoping for. That's the best reaction that we can get. What we don't want is Brian looking at the prophecy going, okay, I can't go and do what I want to do because I've got to finish this prophecy. So that's important. That's important. Right. So the prophecy, this is what we have written about the prophecy. Ancient writes from an Utakin prophecy. So Utakin, I think Utakin, that's where it came from. Fabled Lands, that wonderful Choose Your Own Adventure book series. The Utakin are a race. Utaku is a country. So yeah. Anyway, we can change the name. It doesn't matter. This is the Uthakin. Sorry, Uthakin prophecy. Uthakin was a madman who claimed to be a god. Not important for us at this particular moment in time, except that if we want to show him as a madman, then that will be something useful. So I'm going to pull that out. So written by a madman. That gives us some leverage, by the way. That gives us some leverage. The prophecy is housed in the library of Herculanum. Well, that doesn't matter. It's written 1,400 years ago. Again, doesn't matter because we're going to be avoiding certain specifics. Kovakos the Mad wrote it. He claimed to be a god. Okay, so that's his name, but it doesn't really matter. The prophecy details the rites and rituals, but in multiple languages. Okay, so that's important. So multiple languages written in. I'm busy making little notes on the side. So there you are. And the prophecy to include Raj somehow. Okay, we're gonna handle that absolutely. The prophecy was studied and copy exists in Defini. The last phoenix was used to make it. Okay, so the prophecy is written on a phoenix. I think we established that before, if my memory serves. Let's just say written on a phoenix. Hide which burns itself up every hour. Okay. I think that was also part of it. The prophecy changes as okay, yes. So the prophecy changes, right, or appears to change. The prophecy. So prophecy changes. I'm just making notes for myself, and you just go, well, I made these notes beforehand, didn't I? Yeah, I did, absolutely. I can't remember them. So there we are. All right. So that's kind of where we're going, and the prophecy details the. What does it tell us how to do? It details the rites and rituals that are needed in order to put this sphere thing in place. Okay. It takes a lot of time. The cults are looking for him. Each sphere takes a month to extract. Okay, so part of this prophecy is the extraction of the spheres from their home dimension. Basically, I mean, that's what it pretty much is. It must be done in a holy site, so a holy site for each sphere. If you have questions, throw them out. I will try and find them. Each site must be scouted and attacked by as quickly as possible, blah, blah, blah. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Might be strong, blah, blah, blah. What else? Raj is anyone who can stop him. That's important. Raj is only one who can stop him. And must mention Raj somehow. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Years to put together. He has had years. Okay, so years to complete. And if he fails, the universe is destroyed. Failure destroys the universe. Success unites the universe under the control of the uniter. Okay, so that was important as well. Two spheres colliding causes nature. We don't talk about that. End of days apocalypse. That isn't important. Uniting the spheres wrongly, rack badly. Okay, yes. Okay. Uniting spheres together in wrong order causes massive disruption. Spheres must be united in a specific order. Okay, I'm literally just making notes here. The Chamber of Stars. What the hell's that? Combining the spheres must be done in a very specific way in the Chamber of Stars. Okay, right. Chamber of Stars is final location. Great. Good. Fine. Okay, so that's kind of what we've got. And I'll share this with you. These are my notes. These are what I've literally written out now. Written by Madman, multiple blah, 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 blah. So we've got something to work with here. So let's see. If you are asking a question, please ask it how Thanos has asked it. Let me go there quickly so you can see. He wrote the word question in caps, so I could see what was going on there. Would you use or have you ever used PCs with prophecy? Little nervous to kill my players when they act stupid. So have you ever used prophecy, ever killed PCs with prophecy? I can't say I have ever killed PCs with prophecy. I'm trying to think. I haven't done many long form prophecies. Usually I've done dreams and that sort of thing. There was one prophecy which I did, but it didn't kill the PCs because the PCs were the mother of the demon that they released upon the world. I expected them to kill the demon. No, they decided to help and work with the demon. So, hey, there you go. Yeah, it's all good. So, to that question, yes, that is it. Let's see, anything else? I can't see any other questions immediately, so that's absolutely fine. All right. Okay, so when we then go to our master plot, we have 15 adventures here. I think it's 15. 16 adventures here. No, 10. What am I talking about? It's 8 plus 6, which is 14 adventures. Dear goodness. We have a whole bunch of adventures here. And each one of them outlines a stage that we need to unlock this prophecy in. So what that means is that the prophecy, we only need to worry about specific passages for these specific events. Anything else doesn't really need to be there. It is bonus material, and we're going to keep that in our back pocket as well, because bonus material is always useful because it's not planned for, and so whatever Raj does, he might find a new line in that prophecy which detailed what he did, and he goes, oh my goodness, I did that, and it's already in the prophecy. That's insane. So it's very cool, I think. It's very, very, very cool. So yes, there we go. Okay, let's now, so these are the steps that we have to worry about. We need that opening prophecy. We need the opening line to be this opening line here, which is washed ashore and saved by life cult priest. Okay. Washed ashore and saved by the life cult priest. Someone has stolen from blah, 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 blah. We didn't actually do that. We didn't need to do that yet. We haven't even got there. It's a mystery that points to Raj as the thief. Okay, so that's not important. We just need to say washed ashore by the life cult priest. All right. Now, the other critically important thing is that the prophecy needs to describe something that the characters have already done so that they can link themselves into said prophecy. So when you are doing a prophecy-based game, don't write the prophecy before you've had a couple game sessions. Let the prophecy be discovered after that, very specifically, so that you can write the first stanza, which then relates directly to the character. Now, we then need to wait a minute. I've got some more questions that have come through. Let's see. White Tiger 225 says, evil campaign that is one-on-one. Any ideas to keep a player who's good at playing evil occupied as the DM who often falls under lawful good? Wow. Players who are very good at playing evil and they're playing an evil campaign run by a DM who is not good at being evil, I think that's going to be a very, very interesting challenge for the GM, because the GM needs to think in evil ways, or possibly somehow cause that evil character to have to do good. That's an age-old cliche. The evil character has to work with the good people because there is a bigger evil out there that is going to threaten to destroy them both, so they're forced to work together. So that could be something if you wanted to look at it like that. AK Wright says, have you ever added prophecies to a campaign which have nothing to do with the PCs? No, I have not, because the PCs will always assume it has something to do with them. If you go so far as to give them a written out prophecy, they will believe that you have spent time investing in it, the meta will kick in, and they will run with it. It's a flaw, and I have as yet, let me rephrase. I have as yet not encountered a party where they get given something by the GM that have not immediately assumed it was directly aimed at them. And I think that if you gave them a prophecy that has nothing to do with them, at the end of the campaign they go, you know that you gave us that prophecy. How were we meant to trigger that? And you went, no, it was just fluff. Why not just say, oh, you guys find a bunch of random prophecies. Some seem to have been dated. Some are mistaken. The librarian next to you scoffs and says, oh, those were the prophecies written by Haravash the Insane. Meaningless these days. Most of them were fulfilled 1,000 years ago. Yeah, because if you give them something, they're going to use it in theatre or in yeah, I think it's in theatre. It's called Chekhov. Is it Chekhov's gun? Whose gun is it? Someone's gun. Anyway, if you put a gun in the first scene, the gun's going to get used or stolen in the second and then act and then used in the third. Anyway, I wouldn't give them something if it has anything to do with them. And if it does have anything to do with them, downplay it. Chekhov's gun. There we go. Thanks, David Bridgman. Right. Before we get into it, one more question. Deepupna says, this question isn't about prophecies, so feel free to skip it. Too late. But I was wondering if you might have some tips for GMing Curse of Strahd, if you are familiar. I'm not going to run it in 5th edition, though. Well, Curse of Strahd is an interesting one from a prophecy perspective as well, because Curse of Strahd, the module, well, the adventure book, actually includes a whole lot of very interesting, it's not really prophecies, I suppose, but you certainly could turn them into a prophecy quite easily, where you use the tarot cards to seed the game, if you like, to seed where stuff is, supposedly to try and make it more replayable. That in itself is almost prophetic. Well, you could make a prophecy very easy out of it. So I always look at Curse of Strahd and I go, what? So the big bad is Strahd. The players know it's Strahd. It's kind of like role-playing on the Titanic. If you don't give me something more than just, oh, it's happiness, and then the ship starts sinking, and then you have to get off, that's not interesting. The ship starts to sink, and you discover that there are mermaids underneath the ocean, and they take you prisoner, and now you have to escape back to the surface using Captain Nemo's submarine. Well, now that's the Titanic interesting. So, Curse of Strahd, oh, the vampire is terrifying. Yeah. it's a wonderfully written module, but everybody knows the story. Everybody knows the outcome. Change it up. Change it up. Have Strahd be trapped there just as much as the players are, and instead of him attacking them, have him try and work with them to figure out how to get out of his own kingdom. That could be interesting. Anyway. Thanos 103, one of my players clashed with some 2 of the 4 players and have asked me to remove him. It's only happened twice, admittedly. Only had 3 sessions, so 2 out of 3 sessions had issues. Would you remove the person where the other players have issue with them? Well, yes, unfortunately. I would say, look, I don't think it's a good fit. I think that there are better groups out there for you, or for us, or however you want to phrase it. It's not worth having tension, and people won't work stuff out. The bugbears will exist. Anyway, right. Not about prophecies. Jim Brightside says, could you consider a video series reviewing or critiquing homemade maps and campaigns? GM Brightside, we're going to be doing that at the end of the month, 30th of May and 31st of May. We are running the Circle of World Builders Masterclass, where on day 2, we are taking submissions from those who have signed up for the Masterclass, where we will be doing exactly that. And by we, I mean not just myself, but also Dungeon Fog and World Anvil, who arguably are leaders in their field in terms of the mapping area and the world creation area. So sign up for that, and and you can't go wrong. So there we are. Okay, right. Are you building the adventure for the 1v1 game? It's not the adventure, it's the prophecy that we're building for the 1v1. So there we go. Okay, I will put that link in now for the Circle of World Builders. So you can join up for that, Circle of World Builders. My brain is dying. That curry was insane. Okay, yes, let's get back on track. Right, so wait, what? I don't know what David's talking about. Anyway, brain gone flat. I also got bad news this morning. Very sad news, not bad news. Sad news, I think. How would insert a modern day prophecy, says Nicholas Marrow. Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Nostradamus or the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code is basically not exactly prophecy, but it's how I would do it in the modern day. I would have this ancient text which purports that Mary Magdalene was actually in the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, who knew it somehow, and I never really got that. But anyway. Back to prophecy. We want to link it to Raj, our principal character. And we have a whole range of options to link him in, which I think is fairly easy for us to work with. Like I said, the other challenge is if this was for a group of players, you would use a similar technique, but you would link each of the members into that opening prophecy. So when we go with an opening prophecy, we need to establish, let me just open this up here. Okay, so we must mention, I beg your pardon, we must mention Raj, right? We know that Raj is from the southern continent, Vashti. We know that he is Tabaxi. We know that his family deal in jewels. And, well, that's enough, really. That's 3 things. So we could quite easily have our opening line, when the jewel of the south, lured by the light of the stars, washes upon shores from afar. Kind of rhymes with star, right? Then will life. We need it to be a little bit scary. Then will life collide? Because the whole thing's about colliding the spheres together, right? Then will life collide? Now, in last week's episode, I did mention that the one priest was asking if he had been lured by the light of a star, which was the lighthouse. I think I said light of the star. Anyway, it's the light of something. He won't remember, and this will be good enough. That is the one penalty, by the way, of streaming games, is that your players can go back and watch them. Theoretically, I could too, but goodness, I don't have that much time. So, all right. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is more than enough to link Raj in. At exactly the same time, we could very well have him, if he's not interested in the prophecy, because he doesn't have to be, we could also have him meet some beautiful woman who has come from the south as well. And she has a large jewel around her neck known as the Jewel of the Southern Star. And that has brought her here because there's a great big event that showcases the greatest gems in the world. I mean, we could twist it however we like. So that's the vagueness that we're talking about in terms of building this thing. Okay. Is this enough to get him in? I think it is. Does it have to complete rhyme? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Although what rhymes with south? Then will life mouth open its mouth? No, mouth. South mouth. Browth. Life will open its browther and start looking. I don't know. Uncouth. Does that rhyme with sooth? When the jewel of the south, lured by the light of the stars, washes upon shores from afar, then will life be uncouth. I suppose you could do it that way. I'm not sure, Sarah. It only needs to rhyme in its original language, says Lance Pickett. Yeah, this works so much better in Drow. It really does. The iambic pentameter is just so much better. So, yes. It doesn't have to rhyme. The player. It would just look smarter if it did. South. So kraut, grout, louth, mouth, shout. South, shout. Yeah, Thanos, that's not a bad. Then will life shout. Then will west has better rhymes. What? Yeah, but he didn't come from the west. West definitely has better rhymes. Yeah. Doesn't have to rhyme. We're gonna move on. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a thing. Right? Okay, so that has mentioned Raj, so we can delete that from our list of things. I don't think we need to go much further than that. There was a question, do we need to include the just rotate the planet. Do we need to include the encounter that he's about to have now? I don't think so. I don't think that Brian is going to miss this. I think when he reads this, he's going to go, yeah, all right, well, I'm the jewel of the south, lured by the light of the stars. Washes upon the shores from afar. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. He will pick it up. Okay, the prophecy changes we're going to come back to. The spheres must be united in order, in a specific order. Okay, let me just get this nonsense out of the way. Right, so let's do that. Uniting the spheres together. Okay, extraction of the spheres. This happens first. Okay, I mean, I don't see why you would do it in any other order, right? Years to complete. Failure destroys the universe. Success unites. Okay, Raj is the only one who can stop him. Okay, right. So when the jewel of the south, lured by light of the star, washes upon shores from afar, then will life's. This will be better. Life's savior. How the hell do you spell savior? Savior. What's wrong with that? I tell you. No, you? Savior? Is that how you spell savior? Seriously? Anyway. Okay. Then will life's savior. We need to rhyme with south. We need to forget west, folks. He's from the south. I can't change the map. He's seen it. Oh, look at AK there. The Jewel of the Southern Shore will open up life's very more. When the jewel, what? Of the Southern Shore. Of the Southern Shore. Lured by light of the stars, washes upon the shores. Washes upon sands. Washes upon sands from afar, then life's savior. The jewel of the Southern Shore will open up life's very more. That's much better. Yeah, we'll open up. very more. Okay, cool. Very more, because that's also a pun on life. There will be more life. Okay, fine. Good. Great. There we go. Wonderful. You can swap the word of the first line to when the southern jewel. Yeah, we could too, but I'm happy with this. When the jewel of the southern shore, lured by the light of the stars, washes upon sands afar, not from afar, sands afar. Will open up life's very more. Okay, sure, more. That's good. Good. 10 points to you. Right. Right. Extraction of the spheres from their home dimension. Okay, so the first thing, let's go back here, is the life cult. We've spoken about that. Life's very more. Okay, great. So that's good. It also kind of ties into the attack of this animal. It's trying to maul the priest and all that sort of stuff. So then the next one that we need to go to is the death cult reaches out to Raj. Someone attacked a convoy of priests. The high priest is missing and someone must track her down. Okay, so it was the death cult that... I don't think the death cult is combined first, actually. Nature cult begs for help. Their great stag has been eaten by bizarre wolves. The first cult beast. Okay, a logic vortex. So that's logic and... I want to say logic and blood is logic vortex. Void cult, elemental. Yes. Okay. So logic and blood are combined together. Okay. Will Zill survive? Who knows? It really does. So we've got to put logic and blood cult together, right? Because that's our next, that's what will be happening in terms of the first successful joining. So we're going to throw that in. So we were talking about vagaries and also specifics. The specific here is jewel, Southern Shore. So that's specific. But what is the jewel? That's not known. That's not identified. The light of the star. What star? What light? Again, so do you see what I mean? That's kind of where we're driving. Welton Lima says, does anyone know where is the video where this adventure table was set up? It was a live show. I did it as a live show. I'm sure I did it as a live show. And it would be after one. It's called From the Shadow Born on this channel. It would have been in there somewhere. Okay. Right, so logic and blood cult, not specific. Something to do with a vortex, a logic vortex. So, logic and blood is my new techno metal album. There we go. Okay, so a vortex is what? Swirling. conflagration. We could just use the word vortex. I mean, that's entirely true as well. What do we want him to do, though? The death cult reaches out to Raj. Someone attacked a convoy of priests. Okay, so although the death cult will be happening before we get to the vortex, the vortex paragraph might still include that. So something like death vanquished by cunning and guile. Think of something that rhymes with guile. Death vanquished by cunning and guile. Renders then the spheres combined. Wow, Thanos, you have to have a dictionary open or something. What the hell is royal? I have no idea. I have no idea. Thought and death found swirling in step. Lance Pickett, I think I like it. Renders when then the spheres combined. Thought and thought and action dance in style. Let's see, I'm busy looking at options here that you guys are throwing out, which is great. Thought and action dance in style. Red. Wait. I want to bring in a color. Oh yes, that's right. Sorry, in style. It's not. That's not the rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme is every. Oh come on, you silly thing. Thought and action dance entwined. By bringing in colors, sounds, or something that is different from the normal descriptor. When you then trigger that, when you then say that out loud, the player will be looking at the prophecy and they go, oh, there was that line about the red cape in the wind or something. I mean, we can figure it out. But by doing that, you could throw out stuff. They don't pick it up. Doesn't matter. They pick it up. Brilliant. It makes it seem as if you had planned it all along. How about teal green or mahogany brown or sea foam green? That's a very specific color. And that's, so, again, specifically nondescript. Crimson Loom the Trial. Oh, I like that. Crimson looms the trial. That's brilliant. Crimson looms the trial. Okay, that's really great. So it gives us a color and it talks about a trial which we don't know about. So David Bridgham, thank you so much for being here. We will catch you later. Of course, this will be on the channel for a long time. Red flutters the lands defiled. I think Crimson looms the trial is more terrifying. Trial of whom? You see, red flutters upon the lands defiled. I do like it, Ramsey Kingston. But I think Crimson looms the trial gives us a little bit more to work with. See, vague, specific. So there's going to be a trial. Well, obviously, it's an adventure, right? So it's obvious, but it's ominous. A trial of what? Okay. So there we go. Now, I am an idiot. This should have been done this way. Okay, and I will tell you now why. Okay. We established that the prophecy changes. The prophecy changes. So what we'll do here is once we've written the prophecy, we will come back and rewrite it once the actions have taken place to show that he has influence over that prophecy and that it's not just a dead thing that he has no control over. I think that's the other big thing as well. You know, when you do a prophecy or a dream for the future or destiny, it is your destiny. When you're doing that kind of stuff, it can be cool, but oftentimes players go, well, it's not the destiny I wanted for my character. I wanted my character to retire and become a greengrocer, not the savior of mankind. So we have to be careful that we don't also railroad our players into a specific course of action. So if they see that they can change the prophecy once they've, you know, sort of fulfilled it, then that makes them a lot happier and it's a lot easier to swallow. All right. Okay, we are doing a lot better than I thought we were going to be doing, so that's brilliant. Our next thing is an elemental, and that is nature and elements. So that is the sphere of nature and elements. But we haven't spoken about is the actual act of what must be done. So let's throw in a paragraph here that talks about the extraction of spheres from their home dimensions. Spheres must be united in specific order. So I think that talks to perhaps thieving, theft. These could be called eggs rather than spheres, so it's not so on the nose. The high priest is the one who's stealing it. We don't want to give it away too early, but we could hint at it. So what is a high priest? An interpreter? A high priest is an interpreter? Could be. So, interpreter. You see, this is what happens when you have interpreter speaks the truth yet steals the eggs. Yet steals the egg. We'll flesh this out. Right? Yet steals the eggs. Only once lost can they be. What am I going to run with? Eggs. Whatever. Can they be combined? We'll come back to this. Can they be combined? Combined and remade anew. Okay, so we'll figure out the rhyming scheme for that. So, tell you what, why don't you guys do the work and I will just write the rubbish. That is something that I do, by the way, is not make other people do all the work. That would be nice, but figuring out rhyming sometimes slows you down. So I'd rather get this out, then come back and go, okay, let's figure it out. So only once can they. So we're looking at. Okay. So that's a better line there. That's a better line. Truthful tongue, thieving hands, something else. Truthful tongue, thieving hands, tongue, hands, and then maybe I don't know why, but I kind of feel like we need a third body part. Or thieving tongue, truthful tongue, thieving hands, what about heart misplaced? Heart misplaced, because his intention is to make the world new and better, and it's also his wife who's coercing him to do it. So I think that kind of sits quite well into that space. Okay. Like Oysters. The pearls are plundered. I'm just throwing out stuff. Only once lost can they be sundered? Oh. A sequence old to renew. A sequence old to renew. No, but then that no longer rhymes with misplaced. Damn. All right. What's renew? You something heart misplaced, heart askew. Ha ha ha! There we go. Is everyone as excited as I am? I mean, this is really simple rhyme, right? I think that kind of works. Okay, so there we are. Okay, let's see. So that is about the extraction of the spheres. Not sure about the like oysters, but yeah, spheres must be united in a specific order. Okay, so this we haven't yet spoken about. But let's rework this. So now let's go back to nature and elements, because then we're going to talk about the elemental that attacks the void cult. Okay, I will write out the 4 things very quickly, and then you guys can work your magic, because I think this is working really, really well. And I wish I could make it more fun, but yeah. Now you have a different rhyme scheme from the first and the other 2 parts. Wait, what? Why? Where? What do you mean I have a different rhyming scheme? Death vanquished by cunning and guile renders then the spheres combined through thought and action dance entwined, crimson looms the trial. Thoughtful tongue, thieving hands, heart askew, like oysters the pearls are plundered. Only once lost can they be sundered, a sequence old to renew. There's a whole awful amount of syllabic issues there, and not the scheme. No, the scheme is 1 2 2 1 all the way through, right? Yeah, sure, okay, yeah, definitely. That's definitely it. That's totally what it is. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, totally. You called it. No, squishy. No. This is definitely not sticking to any scheme. I am just writing this stuff out. So you guys feel free to rewrite this. I will not be offended in any way, shape or form. It's simple rhyme. It is what it is. Okay, so an elemental happens because the void cult offers insight. Guidance from the blackest black seeks from the blackest black forged in sequence right, lest all become night. What else would I say? The stars housed make it. What time's it black? So chamber of stars would be the stars housed make it I want to say possible, but possible is not the right word. So you guys chew on that one. Wait, I'm lost. I don't understand these things. Wait, what are we not understanding, Ben? Let's unpack that. No, it's a word. We need something. The stars housed make it possible, so they have to go to the chamber of stars in order to forge this stuff, right? Guidance from the blackest depths, forged in sequence of power strung. Lest all the night and star render no more. Wait, no. The stars alone may bring it back. Ah, may bring it back. Yes, the stars. The House of Stars may bring it back. Oh, I see, Ben. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Stars well housed. Yeah, stars well housed. Says Drogo Mistweave says the stars well housed may bring it back. Yeah, well, bring it back. I mean, it sounds great in theory, but it's about stars well housed. Stars well housed may bring it back. Okay, let's rework the first sentence. Guidance from the blackest black. Guidance from the void, basically. That's what I'm talking about here. So, well, that's the thing. We forged in sequence right, lest all become night. That talks about destroying the stars well housed. Is rightful birth? Is rightful hearth? No, I'm not. What the hell am I trying to rhyme with? I'm trying to rhyme with black. So if we change black, guidance from the blackest grayness. Well, it's not the blackest night. That's the problem. It's the void cult. From the guidance from the blackest abyss, darkest dark. Yeah, Netjurenbrow 3000. Darkest dark is not bad. From the blackest, let's say from the blackest abyss, right? From the blackest abyss, the stars well housed may bring it. This? Ah, Drago Mistweave says. Bliss may bring us bliss. Could work. May fix what is amiss. I also kind of like may fox what is amiss. I wish you guys could see the chat, because give me a second here. Hang on a moment. Let me just come back here. What's this called? Chat. Can I copy that? Come here. They've been doing. There we go. That's useful. Hey. Give me a second here. Shrink you down. Yeah, that's all right. At least then you guys can see that both sides are going. Guidance from eternal darkness. The stars may the stars well housed may bring you bliss. darkness. S. So bless may bring. Yeah, Drago Mistweave. I think you're right. I think you're right. The darkest, deepest night. You want to see? Deepest night. From the deepest night may bring back the lights. There we go. All right, let's stick with that one for now. I'm going to put the word dual or paired. Twin sequence, right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, because we talk about always combining two spheres. Okay. All right. I think we're good. 4 lines rhyme. Yeah, absolutely. Night, right. Oh, God. I see what you did there. I see what happened. Guidance from the deepest night, forged in twin sequence, right, lest all eternity become night. The stars. Okay, so we just have to change night, right, and night. Well spotted there, Drago Mistweave. Okay, so I want to change these 2 lines because from guidance from the deepest night, the stars well housed may bring back the light. I think that's brilliant. Forged in twin sequence. No, we're not looking, Mark. We're not looking for another word that rhymes with "ite." I gotta go. All right, White Tiger. Good luck with your one-on-one, and I'm way too distracting. Okay, I'm sorry. Go and have fun. Forged in twin sequence. In twin sequence. We're trying to get rid of the right and night. Forged in twin sequence of perfection. Forged in twin sequence of perfection. It's hard to say it out loud. Perfection. Lest all eternity become broken defection. Really? Is that where I want to go with that? Not sure. If you're new to the stream, we're trying to write a prophecy for my one-on-one game that plays out tomorrow night. We've got some requirements that the prophecy needs to happen. Lest all eternity become a broken dimension is better than defection. Yeah. Broken dimension, I think. What about lost dimension instead of broken? I think that's better. Lost dimension. Yeah. Destroyed, broken. I think lost, it's a shorter word. Lest all eternity become lost dimension. Become a lost dimension. Become a destroyed dimension. Yeah, destroyed is better. Broken dimension. Destroyed. Become destroyed dimension. Okay, cool. That's fine. Next paragraph. That's speaking about the elemental. Was that just the elemental? No, it wasn't. That wasn't even it. That was just the... Oh, no, that was the void cult. Okay, so that's fine. So that's the void cult and the twin sequence. So that should be enough. The capital is besieged by centaurs under the influence of a nature beast. The centaurs attack the capital. What else is a capital? Capital head, main head, center, something along those lines. We don't have to, this is the other important thing, we don't have to do all of them, but we do have to do the big events that Raj will hear about. So that's these, particularly, that's these 4 building stuff sections we need to handle. Money, yes, although in this capital, this sets capital is the city, the main city of the continent. So, although you could be cryptic and say money's head to horses lost. Is that very cryptic? Is that very quick? Also, people say capital to cheer something. Yeah, absolutely. Capital notion. Capital idea, that. Yeah, it's very capital. Capital principle, yeah. What do you guys think? Money's head? It's the head. It's the capital. It's financial center. No, country's heart. What's the heart of a country? It's folk music. Pulse of life. Throne. Yeah, I think perhaps throne might be a stronger one. Okay, so money's head is out apparently. Throne and crown to horse lost. Horse being obviously the centaurs. I mean, that makes sense. It's a big enough of a link. To horse lost. Let's see where we go with this. To horses lost. Let's give us an aroma. Give us a smell. Let's try and play on these different senses. And we want to say, so let me just say it and then I'll come back to you. So capital is preceded by senses in the nature of the beast. Okay, throne and crown to horses lost. Beast is man and man is beast. Don't know why it took me so long to think about that one. Beast is man and man is beast. What else is going to be happening later on? Beast is man and man is beast. Past is now and now is past. Future saves. Future. I don't know what I'm doing. No. All right. So smell of trodden soil, thunderclaps, and throne crumbles. Okay. I like that one better than throne and crown. Thunder's curse. And wait, what? Hang on. Thunderclaps and throne crumble. No, I need it to be lost to horse. Thunder. I like the sound though. Thunderclaps and thrones. Okay, let's try this one. Thrones to horses lost. No, it's a compound, isn't it? So no thunder. Sorry. Wait. Sweet scented throne. Sweet scented throne to horses lost. Ha ha! We got some spell in there. Future saves what was once lost. We've got lots of lost happening. Let's I know I'm saying that right now. Because didn't we have lost somewhere else as well? No, we haven't had lost as a conclusion. Only once lost. Yeah, so let's get rid of that. So, sweet scented throne to horses fall. Beast is beast is man and man is beast. Cost. Well, past is now and now is past. Future flowers, yesterday rose. What I'm alluding to in this line, okay, which we'll have to figure out, is that the High Priest Naos, if you can see that here, this line here, High Priest Naos is attacked by Raj from the future. Future Raj is killed before he can say why he attacked. So I was trying to allude that Future's flowers yesterday rose. So they go back to try and rise up against against the priest, right? And the rose and the flower is just me being stupid. Thrones to... Oh, cost rhymes with lost. Oh, but we don't have lost anymore. We don't have lost anymore. Sorry. Sweet scented throne to horses fall. Beast is man and man is beast. Past is now and now is past. Maybe this line can come out because Future Flowers Yesterday Rose talks about time travel, right? So let's get rid of this line and let's put in Fate is quite good. Roaring skies, thundering hooves echo like a curse. Says Slasio, I like that. Since nature attacks the city, you could say something like overgrown. Yeah, nourish the future to suffer the past. Tumbling time holds you in its thrall. Yeah. Okay. I like that line. Tumbling time holds you in its thrall. Okay, that rhymes with fall. And I do like this other one of nourish the future or suffer the past. I think that's good too. Nourish or cherish? Someone else who can't spell. Nourish or cherish the future or suffer the past? I think we should go with cherish. Cherish. Go away. I can use as many of repetitive. Deceased rhymes with beast. If you can do something with that. Deceased rhymes with beast. Or suffer the deceased. Isn't that from the past? Am I grasping at straws? Nourish the future or suffer the... Or. Look at me putting an off. Or suffer the deceased. I think that works quite well, doesn't it? I mean, are we convincing ourselves? Am I convincing myself? Yes, I am. I think we're good on this one. I wish you guys could talk back. It would be so much better. Okay. So, spheres must be... We've done that one. We haven't done this one. The careless will be the crow's feast. I do like that one. I could do a Zoom link via OBS. I could, but I don't think Zoom hosts 64 people. And I'd also have to say, Thanos, I mean, it's a lovely idea, but 64 people trying to type or answer at the same time is just nuts. It's mega nuts. And one thing that I have learned from many, many, many years of collaborative script writing, working in an office where everyone's working on the same script, that sort of thing, is that it is great to have options because you get really good stuff. But ultimately, you do need someone who goes, okay, this is what we're saying. This is the final line. And I think Discord Discord, Zoom, absolutely is going to be the same. Ben Nicholson says chores and waiting. No, don't go for chores. Don't do the chores. Abandon your chores. So, yeah. A Zoom session with over 100 people. You just can't over talk on each other. That's the only problem. Okay, I think we're done with that paragraph. I think we're good with that paragraph. So let's move on quickly because we're nearly done. Right. So we need a holy site for each sphere and years to complete. Oh, and we've done that one, so that's fine. Okay, and we've actually done the Chamber of Stars. Okay. So we just need the prophecy change. No, wait, that's done already. That's done already. We need a holy site for each sphere and years to complete. And then on testing stuff, what's this one? Emotionally charged patrols. Nothing can stay dead. I think we've got that. Nourish the future or suffer the deceased. So that's okay. We've spoken about time as well. Tumbling time holds you in its thrall, which is perfect. Finding the location to Neos's Seraphim Temple Complex. Each of the 8 spheres is present, entombed within various creatures, animating them. They roam the land. Da, 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 da. Okay, you persuaded me to stay. There we go. Okay, so we have, by virtue of including all of this wonderful stuff, we've pretty much included the rest of the prophecy by luck. So we now just need to drop in this stuff and we're golden. Now, I did see that there is a request for... Can you increase the zoom in your document? The Word document, I'm assuming. I'm not sure how. View, zoom, 100%? No, just zoom in. Oh, I hate it. You know, really, Tumblr, they can't just... Okay, let's try that. How's that? How's that for you? That's pretty big. Control and plus, does that work in Word? I thought that only worked in... No, sorry. Control and plus doesn't work, Trey. Anyway, it's absolutely fine. Bottom slider. Oh, there's a slider. Look at that. You see, you learn something new every day. Anyway, I think this is big enough. I think that's big enough for everyone. Okay, so we just need holy site for each sphere, years to complete. Okay, so years to complete. What takes a year? What takes a year? What takes a year to complete? And yes, hallowed ground is good. Birthdays. What else? Trips around the sun. The 4 seasons. A year takes a year to complete. Yes, yes, it does. You're right. A year of walking takes a year to complete. Ben, go and do your chores. Okay. Anniversary walks the seasons for. Ha! There you go. Anniversary. Oh, fuck off. Anniversary walks the seasons for. Hallowed. Where the hell is hallowed? Hallowed Earth. Hallowed Earth. Fire and water. Because there's something in there about the elements. Fire becomes rain. Rain becomes fire. Rains the fire. Oh, hallowed earth rains the fire. The high priest is a big fat liar. Years to complete. Okay, done. Holy site for each. Okay, so hallowed earth rains the fire. Each to a home. Each to a home. Each to a home. Prison. Oh wait, that's better. Each to a prison. Red. What the hell color rhymes with ire? No, okay. Each to a prison, dark and dire. we still. I'm now talking about that they all the spheres become entrapped within creatures. This is the last line down here, right? Battle within collapsing fortress. A high priest. Where are we here? Fire, pyre, mire. Yes, absolutely. But now we need something that rhymes with ore. Core. Yes. Let's think. We need to include Raj, the cat, the tabaxi, the trader, the sorcerer. Sorcerer, more, law. Yeah, law I think is right. Magic and mind. Yeah, we're trying to include Tor, Door, Snore, Law, the Feline Shore, Land of the Tabaxi. I don't know if that's too on the nose, but I think it might necessarily be. Tooth and Claw for the feline. Could that work? Tooth and Claw return us to balance. To balance returned. Tooth and Claw. Does claw rhyme with 4? I think it does, doesn't it? Bet Patrick Stewart could make it rhyme. If any of you ever want to listen to Shakespeare sonnets, Patrick Stewart on Facebook is busy reading all of the Shakespeare sonnets. He's on like sonnet 59 today, I think. Anyway, depends on accent, I suppose, says Mule. Hello, absolutely. To balance return by Tooth and Claw. Anniversary walks the seasons for. Yes, it definitely can. Definitely. I am not even going to try and pronounce that. Egfather. Anyway, thank you for saying that. I really do appreciate that. Statement there. Okay, are we happy with that? Anniversary walks the seasons 4. Hallowed earth reigns the fire. Each to a prison dark and dire. To balance returned. It should be a comma. By Tooth and Claw. I wanted to say by Magic and Claw, but because he's a sorcerer, right? But by Tooth and Claw, I suppose it still implies. That's when I think of cats as like Tooth and Claw, right? Success unites the universe under the control of the Uniter. I think we've lest all eternity become just forged in twin sequence of perfection. Backs turned to death and war. Magic and more. We've used more already. That's any problem. Magic and paw. By magic and paw. It doesn't sound as nice though as Tooth and Claw, does it? It's about that rolling return of power. By balance returned. Return of power. No, because we have to return to the balance of the 8 spheres of this world. I think we're okay. We just don't have this line, which I think is sad. I want to see that in there. Because it's the entire... I was watching... I think I was watching this afternoon. Because it couldn't have been this morning. I was watching Dreaded DM. When did I watch? Oh, I was watching it. Anyway, doesn't matter. No one cares when I was watching it. I was watching a critical review on why Mass Effect Andromeda failed. And it was a 20-minute long review. And now I know what people feel like when they watch my channel. It's like, oh, for heaven's sakes, does it really take 20 minutes to make one frickin' point? Anyway, now it only takes me 10 minutes to make a point, so at least I've improved on that. But in this review, one of the most scathing things that the reviewer pointed out about why Mass Effect Andromeda failed, which I completely agree with, is that the villain had absolutely no motivation whatsoever. They just do the stuff because they're bad. So this line is very important. Success unites the universe under the control of the uniter. So let's leave this for now. Peace return to deepest core. Yeah, but we got to get that cat thing in. Control unite universal line from the eggs might. Well, the character comes from the trader family. Yes, the trader, the character. Yeah. So dreaded GM, I'll be honest with you. That's why I tuned in this morning. I was busy designing the interface for the Circle of World Builders, and I jumped onto Twitch. I was like, let me just watch a podcast. Let me listen to something. Let's see what other people are doing. And there were a couple of live streams going, and I went through each of them. I found your one, and you guys were just starting, and you were introducing the players to us, which I thought was really cool. So that's why I stayed and watched, actually. Anyway, and then it just got better and better and better and better. So if someone could resurrect Lovecraft, he'd give us 600 cryptic ways of describing a cat. So maybe instead of cats, could be something to do with traders. Yeah, it's not a Dracono 1. What you are doing is absolutely perfect. Remember, one of my fundamental rules is insert a giant banana. So you're absolutely right. Let's look at something else. So it could be trader. You could break the formula for the last stanza to include that line. Success unites the universe under the control of the unite. Well, yeah, I mean, we obviously have to write it out, so it's a little bit. To balance return by tooth and claw. By tooth and claw. What the hell did Lovecraft call his cat, Netyorenbao 3000? The universe united once more. I agree on what Lovecraft called his cat. I think we're drifting. Okay, I agree though. I think we can. New Balance ruled by tooth and claw. Called him Mr. Hitler. But wasn't Lovecraft in the 1930s? So if I remember correctly, then that would only be atrocious now, not then. Nylathorthep. Yes, I never know how to pronounce those. Don't search for it on stream. No, I definitely won't. Okay. It was a racial slur. Oh, good grief. Okay, then definitely I won't do that. Yeah, I thought it was the 1920s, somewhere around there. So in that case, then, yeah, no, Hitler wouldn't make sense because in the 1920s Hitler was in prison, or painting bad artwork apparently. Okay, so I agree with the idea of putting in an extra line rather than adding in an extra stanza because I think that's awful. So yes, let us put that in. To balance return by tooth and claw, or all remade by Master's mind. Something like that. I mean that Master's will. Yeah. That could work. Master's paw. Tried and true forevermore. Do we have to rhyme in that last sentence? Magic Raw. Oh, something maybe. Yes. Mula Hello says Magic Raw. Something could be. Yes. So what if we, instead of say by Tooth and Claw, by Magic Raw? Because that's what a sorcerer is. By Magic Raw. I think it's less on the nose than Tooth and Claw. Have it as a single line stanza. Well, I don't know how one would do that. I mean, yes, Magic Raw. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So we're going to do that as a separate line. All remade by Master's will. Bump. Ellipses. Okay, all right. I don't think we did too badly, folks. It only took us an hour and a half with minor distractions. But what I normally do, by the way, when I am doing something like this, and it has... Yeah, okay, fine. When I'm doing this sort of thing, generally speaking, I will write it out. Think roughly as we have done now. This is way more thought than I would have normally put into it, by the way. Then leave it for the night or the day, and then come back to it later on, and then reread it, because right now one of the big challenges that we have is that we are reading it with all of the knowledge sitting fresh in our minds. But if we come back to it tomorrow, which we will have to, because that's when he's going to get the prophecy. He might not get the prophecy tomorrow, actually. He might only get the prophecy next week. It depends on what he does after this animal attack. It really does. So, but the point is, write it out, then come back to it later when you've kind of forgotten all of this stuff, and then reread it and go, what the hell did I mean by this line? I could replace it with this line and it might be better, or I could replace that word and it might be better. So I think for now, let's call this done. AK Writer says, did you just outsource your work to us? No, I definitely did not do that. This was a learning exercise for all of you who watch my channel. No, in all truth, it actually wasn't. It was just me going, I've got to write this thing out. Why not have fun with it? What else am I going to do on a Tuesday night apart from play Mass Effect Andromeda again? I'm having fun with that, with the second playthrough. I mean, the first time I played it, I hated it, absolutely hated it, because of course I expected it to be Mass Effect. But now that I'm playing through it again, I'm taking a lot more time to do the side quests, because that's actually where the story is. The main quest is an absolute waste of time. Absolute waste of time. So there we are. All right, so now let's go back to some more technical stuff. So I can actually open this up fully now. And there was some questions. Let me just have a look and see if there were some questions that had come through. Are these tools available? Yes. So the PDFs, all of them, and there's a whole bunch of them, are all available on the website greatgamemaster.com. You can go there and the Great Library, and inside you'll find all of these forms. And if you need to know how to fill them in, there are videos on the YouTube channel. Not that I particularly remember which videos there are, but they are definitely there. Okay, so I can close that. Now, oh, you turn them into a spreadsheet as well. Well, there we go. Absolutely. I think if I didn't hate spreadsheets as much as I do, then yes, that's a very good idea, actually. So at everyone, remember to leave a like, please. Oh, that's very kind of you, AK Writer. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so it's written in multiple languages, which means that when we present this to our player, to Brian, I will take this tomorrow. Yes, before the stream. Yes. And I'm only going to give him the first 3 paragraphs. So the first paragraph will be written in the language he understands, so that he can realize that it's about him. The second paragraph will be in some gibberish font. I've got a whole bunch of random whatevers, right? And then later on he can understand that and he can learn that. And then the third one will be, perhaps I will leave that in a common tongue to to tease him a little bit so that he has to try and figure out what this is. Now, there is another problem that might arise from this, which we have to be prepared for, and which we will be prepared for in terms of if this middle one is in some kind of why did they do that? Home. It's ridiculous. Anyway, if it's in something that he can't actually read, I think I've got some rubbish stuff here, right? So if we do it, okay, it's in Gakota, then he reads the first paragraph, he reads his third paragraph, and he's like, okay, I need to figure out how to read this. He might go on a quest to find someone who can speak this language. That's brilliant. That's an emergent adventure. That is not one of our planned adventures. We don't stop him from doing that. We don't accelerate the time frame in which our big bad is operating. He continues to operate. He actually slows down, giving our hero, Brian, the opportunity to go on some amazing quest to the deepest, darkest jungle to find the Gakota people, which we happen to have made on a different stream, by the way. And there he learns this, which then allows him to unlock this and to read the actual text as it might be, which I've now broken because I'm an idiot. But that's the journey that we can go on. So we have to be prepared that that's most likely what will happen. Or he looks at it and goes, yeah, okay, it's a prophecy. I'm going to try and do everything I can to avoid it. So when he does, he's like, oysters, the pearls are plundered. I'm not going anywhere near the sea. I'm going inland. So there we go. There we go. Yeah. Since Brian is very good with languages, couldn't you have a paragraph translated to a language he might be able to read? Yeah, absolutely. So the first paragraph and the third paragraph he'll be able to read. The second paragraph he won't be able to read. We also don't want to frustrate him as well. That's the other thing. So if every single paragraph was in a different language and he goes, oh my goodness, I have to go to all of these different places. Either he gets disheartened because he has to go to, 6 different locations in order to understand this poem, or he goes to a library and asks the librarian if he can have 6 books that translate these into one basic language. The net result is the same. He's going on an adventure to discover the language. By making it 6 different languages or 1 different language, it makes no difference as far as I'm concerned. So there's no advantage having multiple languages. I know it says it's written in multiple languages, but we'll just tell him that it's written in multiple languages. And remember also, the scroll burns up, so he can only read 3 paragraphs and then it gets destroyed. And then he reads the next paragraph. Now, this is going to be a working document for me because once we have figured out what's happened, so when the drool of the southern shore, lured by the light of the star, washes upon sands afar, will open life's very more. Will open life's very more. I think we've lost that sentence. So anyway, now this paragraph won't change because this has happened already. This paragraph might change. Death vanquished by cunning and guile renders then the shore spheres combined, thought and action dance entwined, crimson looms the trial. Death vanquished by cunning and guile could refer to the attack by that creature that's attacked them on the path. So will open life's very more. That could also be the attack. So we'll see where we go with that. And then we will come back and we will review and perhaps adjust this. Death surrendered for lack of cunning and guile, for example. So we can then come in and fill that up. But we will need to see that. And by restricting his access, we have the advantage of being able to change that. And that he goes, but hang on a minute, I thought it was this. Oh, prophecy's changed. There you go. Thanos103 says, can you share document on Discord? You mean this document on Discord? I can. I can't do it now. I will have to warn my player Brian not to look at it because he's currently, hopefully, dead asleep because he's in Hong Kong. I will have to warn him first. But I can share it up. Absolutely, if you so like. So it's quite a fun prophecy. Again, I hope you see that. I mean, we were struggling with words and things, but the concepts are pretty vague, I must admit. So there. I hope you are ready to write your own prophecies. And I should save this. So there we go. Let me just go here, and we are done. Put this in the right folder. So thank you all for keeping me company this evening. I hope it was of value, and I hope it was fun. And so there we go. We'll see you all tomorrow night for one-on-one from the Shadows Born, our prophecy-based game with young Brian. And then, yes, we will see you anon. Good night.